New year, new me, okay? New year, new style. So it's time to get rid of these old braids. If you were on my last few lives, then you were a part of the process of me creating this style. I did add some hair to it. I don't know if y'all can see now, but I added like little curls in there, which are not super curly no more. But and then I curled the ends of it as well. So it was actually really cute. Like the curls came out really nice. And it gives it a little bit more of like a fullness. So we're gonna take these down now. I'm getting ready to do a new style. Get ready for teaching. So I'm gonna take these down and then I'm gonna put another deep conditioning protein treatment in there. But I really like this style. I thought it was cute. I did a lot of like side parts, and then I did ponytails and bangs. Like I did like swoops. It was just really cute. So I'm gonna cut it. Probably just cut section by section and then just unbraid it. So we're just gonna start with the back. I actually don't know how many I have in here, but I didn't add the curls throughout because I did refresh just the top maybe like once. The whole time I had them in. I think I had these in for about a month, maybe. I think so. So only a few of them have like these extra curls in them, if you can see them right here. Yeah. And so then I curled the ends. But that was like halfway through, like I said, with me wearing them. Now my hair probably stops like right here, maybe. So I'm just cut right here. And then once I'm done, I'm gonna put my steam treatment, my like deep conditioning. And then I'm super excited for my new style. So I know that's gonna be really cute. And I have to do my nails, and I have to do my brows, just so many things. Maintenance is so much. Y'all know I say it all the time, but you know, like I said, new you, new year, new style. We're getting it together. So I'm gonna put the podcast on so I could be listening to that while I'm braiding my hair. If you guys have any questions about the takedown process, let me know. I did detangle my hair before I braided all of this, so it shouldn't be too tangled, but we'll see. And we'll just go from there. So here's one braid out so far. And for whatever reason, this feels like it's still... So there's a lot of buildup back here. I can feel it. So I'm gonna gently pull this apart. It feels like I braided it a little bit. My hair still feels actually really soft. It's getting stuck on my nails. But before I had braided my hair, I had put the hair butter on there, which is right here. I put the hair butter on my hair before I braided it, just so that my hair could stay moisturized and soft within the braids, and so I won't have too much shedding. And so here we are. And now I just have to shampoo everything. So we have one braid down. I'm gonna keep going. Is that your real hair? This is my real hair, yes. We're taking down box braids that I put in. So I'm gonna cut them and then we're gonna keep going.
It exists for him. We began with God. We exist for him. Everything is about, it boils down to him. And as we journey in this, that it would remove the anxiety that comes with this idea of purpose, and that we begin to live more in our walk with the Lord. We become more present in our walk with the Lord and not try to isolate him from this obsession of the discovery of purpose, right? And so, let's get into it. There are 4 foundational truths that I want to talk about in discovering your purpose in Christ, right? Now remember, Acts 17:28 says, "For in him we live and move and have our being." In him. So let's kick off. Number 1, the key thing that I believe you should know is that you are set apart. Jeremiah 1:5, it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." You see, you didn't start in your mother's womb. You started with God. First of all, that should give you a sense of calm, right? That this journey, this thing I'm trying to discover, this thing I'm on, it's not just about me trying to discover it. There is a reason. If I started with God and he decides to put me, at whatever point he decided to put me in the realm of time, then there was a purpose behind that, but that purpose is not something I need to try to figure out on my own, right? Because we have all these things, how to discover your purpose, how to 10 steps to this or 5 steps to that. What are you good at? What do you love? X, Y, and Z. Judas loved to steal. But
my hair has gotten so long.
To the nations. But God's words to Jeremiah is revealing God's intentionality behind your birth, behind the birth of every living being. And I'm talking about mankind. The intentionality behind that. That the moment you came into time, it was because there was something connected to your life that your life was called to answer. For me, I have 2 kids. I have a daughter, I have a son. And when I tell you that both pregnancies, the Lord told me before it happened, because he began to speak to me about my children and who they're called to be on the earth. And it was so amazing. One of the ways that when I met my husband, that I knew, there were so many things that was just like without a shadow of the doubt that this is the one that who God gave me. But there were things about our children. There are things about our children that God revealed to me before I met him, that God also revealed to him. And so one day we were talking about kids. And we started to just talk about things that God
It's not a lot of
revealed
shaded
to us.
hair.
And it was mind-blowing how
For
this
1
whole
month.
time, the mundane will always have a place in the miraculous. So even when it just feels insignificant, it might actually be the most significant. Look at Zechariah 4:10. It says, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." Are you faithful in the mundane? Or you're just looking for something exciting, and then you call that waiting on God? Because you're just tired of what feels boring to you. Not realizing they're all weaved in together. Waiting on God is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. I have a whole teaching on waiting on God. Our life, waiting on God is a posture of our lives. But what I'm saying is that don't fall into the deception that just because you're looking for something exciting, that you cancel out on the mundane things that God assigned to your life. And you do nothing because you want to do something that was birthed out of envy or birthed out of jealousy of what someone else is doing, and you're trying to match up. And that leads you into the secret place. That's not what should drive us into seeking God about, Lord, what's next? When you don't know what to do what you know to do with diligence and unto the Lord. And it would always be in his timing that he can entrust you. Because you see, what's next is not a conversation. It's an entrustment. God doesn't talk just to inform you, or to just have a nice my culture, we call it gist. He's not calling you just to have this chat and say, okay, bye. It's an entrustment. There's something new He's calling you to steward.
It's crazy.
And He's not going to waste words. His words will never fall to the ground. It will fall in a vessel that is prepared and ready to carry it out. And to be prepared and ready to carry it out would always flow from a pure heart. Not a heart that is envious or jealous or wanting or feeling as though, I want people to see me this way. That's not the motive of the heart is not right. And number 3, purpose is not a doing, but a being. Mark 3 from verse 14, it says, then He, and this is Jesus, appointed 12, when He appointed the 12 disciples, that they might be with Him, and that He might send them out to preach. But what was the first thing? They might be with Him. He didn't appoint them to first start preaching. He appointed them to be with Him. You see, if there was something I could sum up purpose as, it is to be a disciple and make disciples. Now, how you make disciples reveals your ordination in God. Reveals what He set you apart to do. But if I was to sum up purpose, is to first be a disciple of God. Be a disciple of Jesus. And then in what you are set apart to do, you're able to raise disciples for Christ. But the first thing Jesus does is that they might be with Him. Because when you're with Him, that's when transformation takes place. When you behold Him, you become like Him. It was to be with Him. Many of us are trying to discover purpose isolated from intimacy with Christ. How can you represent a kingdom when you don't know its king? Because that's what your purpose is about in God. Be with Him. You can't be obsessed about something, but you don't spend time in praying. You don't spend time in studying the Word. You don't spend time in just sitting and meditating on scriptures to know. Be this person on Sunday. At work, you're somebody else. With your friends, you're somebody else. At church, you're completely different. Then in the presence of God, you're another person. It's like we start taking on this multiple personalities. Because what does that do? It makes room for Satan to dwell. It makes room for the enemy to say, well, I can't have all of your life, but at least I can have this 25%. If I can control, if I can influence your career, then that's a good portion. But it's who we are. It's not a doing, it's a being. I want to be with God, and I want Him to live through me. So whenever I'm talking about the will of God, the purpose of God, the will of God is not for you to get into a place of like, man, what is the purpose of God for my life? What is the will of God for my life? Why not just start with being with Him and letting Him be the delight of your life? Because it is His purpose that He wants to fulfill through you. So you have to be equipped for that.
If you're just now joining, I am almost done taking down my box braids that I put in about a month ago, I think. I put them in Thanksgiving weekend, so not quite a month, maybe almost. Like, wait, yeah, is that a month? Yeah, it was a little bit more than a month. Okay, so yeah. So I'm taking down my hair. As y'all can see, my hair actually is really long. Like, it's been growing, and it's crazy because it didn't used to be this long. So I've been growing it out now for a few years actually, but this was a low maintenance style that I did. My hair is still really soft. I've been able to detangle it without having to do too much work. That's because I detangled it before putting each braid in, and then I also did a deep condition before along with using the hair butter on each braid. So it still gave it that nice soft feel. But I have twisted my hair into these 4 sections. This will be the last section. And then I'm going to shampoo it and put another deep condition in there. That way, when I do my next style, because it's going to be another protective style, I don't have to worry about my hair getting dry. And so, yeah, I'm almost done. If you're new here, make sure you are subscribed. I'm always on here talking about natural hair, entrepreneurship, all of those good things. So, Happy New Year. This is a maintenance live. As y'all can see, my hair has a lot of dandruff, not too much, but yeah, but that was actually not bad. I've had this protective styling for over a month and I didn't have a lot of shedding. What was normal, your hair sheds a lot when you have a protective styling, so of course you're going to have shedding. And I put it in 4 sections, so we're going to shampoo it, and then I'm going to put a deep condition in here and get ready for my next style. So yes, thank you guys for sitting with me while I take my hair down. Also, thank you for sitting with me while I put it in. So if you didn't watch that live, go back and look at it. It is saved when I originally did my box braids. And yeah, Happy New Year. Like I said, new me, new style, new do. Okay, we getting it together. So I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. I'm gonna go put my deep condition in, and I'll see you guys next